Oh yeah, yeah, times 2. Yeah, 280. That makes so much more sense. Thank you, chat. So yeah, so you travel at ridiculous speeds, making your way towards this place. So when you say I'm surrounded by idiots, and you look, you see right off in the distance a glint of, oh, of course it's red. Of course it is.
Of course it is. Racing it. Yes. Okay.
Does it have a white stripe like on the middle of the hood?
To make it go faster.
You know what? I'm gonna leave this one to the dice. Why don't you roll me D100? If it's 75 or higher, you can choose what it looks like. It's a 78. You tell me what it looks like, Carmine. You tell me what it looks like.
So this is a beautiful red muscle car, and it's got this beautiful like white stripe, like right down the middle of the car, the entire way. Just, such a beauty. I kind of stole Rockwell's car now.
There's a mutual respect of good workmanship.
Okay. And you
Does
guys
it have exhaust on the side, on the back? What's going on here? Right, okay.
I mean, think about it. It burns clean compared to what we have, in 2017. It burns clean, so I imagine it has a nice large muffler that takes, but it doesn't need, like, its air intake and everything, and its filtration system is far superior to what we have nowadays. It's hard to compare. But let's keep going. So, you guys are ripping down the place, trying to catch up to where they are. The downside to this, the upside to it is the electronics in this car are going to be far inferior to what it is that they're kind of looking for. So it won't tip off their radars, their sensors as easily. The downside is you're traveling at ridiculous speeds, which will tend to tip off certain sensors of there rather quickly. So what's your approach, you two? Just kind of like try to get there as fast as possible, rip roaring, so you come into the combat.
I imagine fast
quickly.
as possible. Drop off Carmine and the drone, and then I'm gonna just get the heck out of there.
Go the same speed in the other direction again.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
So I'm going to
that
ignore
makes
you
sense
guys
to me.
now. Lena, they're coming down the road, down the road to where it is that you expect them to be. This isn't where your kill box is. They're going to have to hit a 90-degree turn and turn onto Main Street to get to where it is you want them to be. Now, your opponents, you don't know, so they don't know that you want them on Main Street. That means they may also not drive onto Main Street. So you're supposed to try to lure them onto Main Street, taking that 90-degree turn and heading closer towards you, because you're kind of like looking 45 degrees out that way, right? So what is your plan to lure them onto the street where you are now?
I imagine it'd be a good idea to try and make some noise, because these guys don't look like they're going to try and be stealthy. If they're going to try and hear some sort of fighting or any sign of life, I imagine they'd want to be like, go ahead, boys. Let's give them hell.
Yep.
But I'm not going to put anyone in danger. I'm not going to get anyone to go down there or anything like that. I'd probably see if there's anything that I could snipe, maybe some sort of explosive somewhere.
So you'd want to rig up something that like maybe strap together a few like half-powered type B power cells and just be like, okay, cool, I'm gonna have it so this thing I can hit and it's going to explode. Now if you snipe, if you actually shoot something, they're going to be able to potentially see the flare of the fireball of the sniper rifle, hear the shot, and then see the effect. So somebody else would probably be the one in charge of that, right? And that's totally enough. Somebody else could like try to like shoot at it like crazy until it blows up.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I mean, they could probably like figure out a way to remotely detonate it. They've done it before.
Different people have done different things.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's your plan, is to more or less make a mini explosion to try to get them down to where it is that they want to do, to where it is that you want them to go. Awesome. But it's not like a booby trap. It's just
Just
like
a lot
pull.
on there.
So you do that when they're kind of heading down the road and heading close enough. Eventually, you're going to give the command for them to do it. Could you do me a favor? Because this is planning. You don't have to convince them. You're just trying to do planning here.
Yeah.
Roll for me command intelligence check to call it at the right time. Nice. So not bad. There's an average roll. So with moderate levels of success, you kind of call it in, and the little explosion goes off. So the vehicle is already kind of like driving through Main Street and had to stop. And now it's one of those, it backs up a little bit, And then instead of just immediately heading down the road, because like the size of the explosion it was and everything, the fact that it ended up putting that part of that building on fire and whatnot, the vehicle is just kind of standing there in the intersection between the interstate, effectively the large freeway highway, and the main street that you want them to turn onto. They're just staying there stationary. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so first off, I get on comms and I'm saying, okay, so the vehicle has stopped at the intersection on Main Street. We set up just a small explosion to lure them there. They was about to leave, but they came back. And I asked Rockwell, how would you like me to proceed? Because he is the leader.
I mean, you hear the whooshing of wind, and honestly, it's just kill as many as you can. There's no
Conrad would
tactical
ask,
assistance.
Are they still on the vehicle, or has the team disembarked?
They're still hanging onto the vehicle, most of them. One or two of them have kind of like hopped off, and they're just like looking around and trying to like see what's going on and what caused that. But the vehicle itself is not moving. The other 6 of them are kind of like holding on, potentially waiting for orders to come to them.
Okay, I have
Disable
one
the
very
vehicle if
important
you
question.
can.
I have
It's
one very
another
important
idea.
question. Is the driver visible?
Oh, no, absolutely not. As a matter of fact, there is no glass,
Okay, I
right?
thought so.
Yeah, it's using external cameras, sensors, and whatnot to be able to be piloted. Potentially, this thing's being remote piloted from, depending on what kind of uplinks or whatever they have. It could be remote piloted from far away, or it could be from somebody on the vehicle or in the vehicle, or who knows.
What I'd point out is that because we have like the heat signature of this thing and the radiation signature, we know where its engine is, and I wouldn't send that to Lena because she probably already has it, but I'd just be like, shoot the engine, make sure it can't move.
Okay.
Probably
I'm
can't
gonna
blow it
try-
up, disable it one
I'm
way or
gonna try
another.
and disable it somehow. Can I just have a look at the vehicle, do some sort of perception roll possibly to see what a weak spot would be, or
You most certainly
what could
can.
best penetrate with a sniper rifle? That is.
You can definitely make a perception roll. Do me a favor before you make that perception roll. Make me a different perception roll. This one's going to be with intelligence. The other one's going to be with wisdom. Okay, so nope, you're fine there. You didn't roll double natties, did you? You did not. Oh, now roll me your one with wisdom.
Now roll wisdom. Nice.
Oh wow, Jesus, that's that's double 6s. So
We know where the driver is.
you go scanning through the thing and you're like, oh wow, not only do I know where the engine is, I know probably the best spot to hit it. However, you're looking at this armored vehicle because you rolled so well at your perception. Double 6 is a critical success. Because you rolled so well, you're gonna look at this thing and you're like, there's no question, I can shoot and I can hit that target. Definitely, no problem. However, this armor is thick enough. I am questioning whether or not my rounds will penetrate through it without like a perfect shot, right? You're questioning that. You can line up that shot. That takes a while, a bit of time and measurements, and you bust out your
But
little
it's
tools
a
and
big
whatnot.
risk.
But it's not a big risk if you have enough time. It's a big risk if you just kind of like hip shot it, like if you took one right now. However, you're looking at this thing and the engine, the draw of the engine and everything that's kind of coming from it, the like looking at the signatures on there, and you're like, yeah, I've seen this before. It exists on ships and stuff like that, and the power cells in my suit. It is very likely this thing has a mass effect field. Taking a shot at the engine right now would very be, even with lining up and taking the perfect shot, very likely would not work.
Okay.
You would be surprised if it worked.
And there's no other way that I can see to disable the vehicle from actually moving.
Without like some sort of hacking into the thing, which I'm sure it has its own firewalls and safety nets and whatnot to stop that from happening, your best bet is to hope that the Mass Effect field itself can be pulled down and have it still be in an area where you can take that clean shot. So from where it is at the moment, no. And probably the best way to take down the field, because this isn't this isn't like a personnel Mass Effect field. This is like, you can bust out your guns and shoot at a starship all day long. You're not getting to that Mass Effect field, because when you're dealing with like ship damage versus personal damage, it's like a times 10 difference. It's like 1 point of damage from like a vehicle is like 10 points of damage to a person. And so 10 points of damage to a vehicle is like 1 point of damage that they take. Get what I'm saying?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So so this is considered a vehicle, even if small. So this mass effect field around it is going to be very difficult to pop off. But you did have your plan before of getting into that building that we had previously discussed.
Yeah. Okay.
It does
So
have
can
to
I just
come up
have a
Main
look
Street
on-
though.
Yeah. So can I have a look at the street and see what building it is that I'm trying? That's going to probably help with the mass.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You most certainly can. So you're looking up the building and whatnot, and you see, you can actually see the building is off to the side. It's kind of a funny looking building. This is certainly something that you didn't see where you grew up. It's a funny looking building. It has like a smaller, lower set building in the back of it. Has a few really tall pillars that have like a canopy overhead. There's a couple bits of like equipment on either side of it, as like a road that leads right up to it and everything. And you're looking at this this building and you're like, oh wow, yeah. I know for a fact that this building can be certainly effective if targeted appropriately. You see a gas station.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to need to lure this vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
How far away from the building is it?
It is, let's see, he's about 500, sorry, your kill box is 500 kilometers. He's about 100 meters away from where you need him to be at the moment.
Okay.
So he's about a football field. That's football, not football. So, you know, go Patriots.
Okay. Okay, so imagine it's not. I'm not gonna take a shot to blow up this fucking gas station because they're not there yet. So that's not gonna help me.
You gotta lure them up the street.
See, the only thing that's coming to mind is having to put these people that are with me in danger.
It's kind of what they're there for, right?
Yeah. How many do I have? 20, did you say?
24.
24. Okay, 24 people.
They're kind of broken up into, you could have broken them up into either groups of 6 or groups of 8.
Groups of 8. Okay, so I'm gonna have to ask 6 of them to go and try and lure them that way.
Okay, awesome. So while you're doing that, you kind of like, so you hop onto the comms because they have like comm pads as opposed to headsets like you do. You hop onto the comms and you're more or less just like, you know what, hey, say what you're gonna say to them. Please don't let me put words in your mouth.
Yeah. I need that vehicle to that gas station immediately to try and render it useless from driving. I'm gonna need 6 of you. I don't care who. Decide that between you. I'm gonna need 6 of you to go and lure it towards that gas station.
Okay. They kind of already knew the plan in advance. You guys had discussed it. They already know which people are supposed to be like a part of the things. So you kind of say, more or less, like, all right, 6 of you need to get going. Like,
Yeah.
it's time for that plan. Do me a perception intelligence check again. Okay. All right. So you give that command, and they start rolling out, as you said, and going over to do that. So what happens is there's like another like 30-40 seconds of just silence of the thing just sitting there and doing nothing, and the 2 people kind of like walking around. Even like a third one kind of gets down and starts like stretching out his back for a second, like stretching out his arm, and then like as he's kind of climbing back on to hold on to the thing, all of a sudden 6 people pop out to the middle of the road with their like assault rifles, their old model assault rifles, and instead of like and opening fire, they burst fire, so burst fire, or doing everything they can. Some of them don't even know what the hell they're doing, so they're literally just holding the trigger and just kind of hoping that it'll, and like emptying their clips immediately and stuff like that. They're all running into the middle of the street and just firing at the truck.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna pop onto comms and say, be smart. If they down you before they even get there, then this is pointless and you've sacrificed yourself for nothing. So be smart.
You say that, not everybody has a comm, so kind of like when you say that, you're too far away to hear it. Roll me, because you're looking at most things through your scope. Roll me a perception check with a -1, wisdom.
You can watch everything go to hell.
Yeah. From the safety of the 5th floor.
They're expendable anyway.
You see from like an alleyway off to the side, one of the people that has the comms, because only a few of them do, start like waving their arms and trying to yell at them. They're within the sight of you because of where the building is, but not be able to be seen by the armored people on the other side. And they're kind of like giving commands. But the people in front of you, like I said, there's the tank there and whatever. Everyone's on the other side of the tank. I'm calling it a tank, but you know what I mean. They're perfectly safe. There's no concerns. It's absorbing all of the hits, whatever. Even the people on this side, they're relatively safe. The bullets are kind of going astray constantly. These aren't trained soldiers, and it's a decent distance. So they're kind of more relying on the targeting computers inside the guns than they are on their own skill. So the bullets are mostly going straight, and their Mass Effect fields are enough to absorb it. But that doesn't change the fact that one of them actually goes over and grabs something off of the tank. You can be able to make a roll for me in a second. Grabs something off of the tank and quickly runs forward and throws it down on the ground. And while he's on the ground, he gets down and starts pressing buttons or whatever on the ground. And all of a sudden you see in hex shapes, little blue boxes in hexes kind of come up and make an area that's about I want to say about 2 meters tall and about 4 meters wide. And everybody that's wasn't protected by the armored vehicle kind of come on the other side of it. And now those stray bullets, wherever they hit, it's you see that little hex area turns it goes from a dark blue to a pale blue for a moment, then turns back dark blue almost immediately afterwards.
Okay, they've got shields up then.
Yep. I mean, you know these things are short-lived.
Yeah.
And you know that your gun can penetrate through them, no question. But it renders their weapons completely useless right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to tell them there's no fucking point. You're actually just wasting bullets now, and it doesn't even look like they're coming.
So you say there's no fucking point, more or less, just kind of retreat as one of them, the ones on the ends of them, ends of the shields, start to lean around the shields and just taking aim and you see 2 of them just get dropped in the middle of the street. Another one takes a couple bullets, they take one bullet, clips them, which blows out a portion of their leg, and they're and they get dragged off to the side. So effectively 3 of them are downed.
Is this the civilians or the people in the tank?
Civilians,
okay.
Definitely.
You refer to everyone as them, so everyone became the same. So civilians are down. Good. Okay.
Great.
Fantastic.
Okay, so I'm gonna go and come to these 2.
Yep.
And I'm gonna say, how can you suggest how to lure them? Because I'm losing people here and losing civilians, and this is not good.
You can tell them you're only 100 meters off from where you need them to be.
Yeah,
Rick.
I'll tell them, and I want their opinion. I want to know what they think.
Mind you, you guys would have seen ping updates onto your Omni tools, so you can Omni tool and drive. It's legal here.
Yeah, but Rockwell's not gonna do that. He's having trouble driving as it is.
I mean,
He's
I would
not.
probably be passing on more accurate information because I'm the passenger.
Yeah, I'd be yelling. I'd be saying things and driving, and he'd be marking my messages. But yeah, aside from we're gonna be a distraction, I haven't got anything to offer really.
Well, if you can drop me off behind the lines, I can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean, from what's going on, ideally when possible, drive, get off Main Street, drop you and my robot friend off.
You
and
hear
then
them.
Try and
hide.
push them
Yeah,
forward.
you hear them kind of talking to each other about their plan or whatever. Okay, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so your idea is maybe to try and push them forward from your end.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, so
You
if
can,
I get more
around
guys
them.
out.
Yeah.
If I get more guys out, just sort of get them to hide, and from a good enough distance where they won't be in danger from when I go klabloom with the gas station, and you guys are behind them. They've got their shields up already. That's going to try and maybe force them forward, because you're doing damage to them. You're going to obviously do more damage than these civilians. And if I even try to take pot shots at the people at the back, get them forward. So that
Yeah, try to get them to bunch up. Carmine
Seems
says.
like a good plan.
Okay. After you guys are, so while you guys are having that conversation, once again, make me a perception intelligence check, Lena. Okay. So you guys are, you kind of come up with that plan, and more or less you just want these civilians down here to keep making little pock shots or whatever, just to keep like pressure happening, but not actually put themselves in danger. Is that the plan?
Yeah, I want because I've got 24 people. I've got 2 of them down now, dead. One of them is injured. So if I get a couple more out to where they are now currently in hiding, or not hiding, but from cover, and try and maybe get 8 people to flank around to where. Is that possible? Is that going to take too long?
No, I
Try
mean,
and
it
get
would
around them?
take time, and you're waiting for your friends to show up anyway, so we can fast forward, and
Yeah.
that can definitely happen. Sure.
Yeah. So if I get about 8 of them to go about maybe where the same distance as to where Rockwell's going to drop off Carmine,
Sure.
and then they can help damage them from the back.
Sure.
The
Sure.
backside.
So you hop on the comms and you
Hit
give
the
that.
backside.
You give that. The truck still hasn't moved at all, but you hop onto the comms and you give that command for them to do that and to meet over there. And you kind of like. It's funny because you like instinctively ping on the map for where they're supposed to go, and then you realize they don't have Omnitools. And so it's like, ugh.
We just see pings come over, like, oh.
You're like, yeah, that's where we said. Thanks. So you kind of like describe where it is that they're supposed to be, and they're supposed to go there. Once again, do me an intelligence commands check so that we can see how accurate it is, and then afterwards roll me an intelligence perception check.
And perception intelligence. 7 again. Yeah, loving that 7, aren't I?
Yeah, apparently, Jesus Christ, that's like you could like win the lottery with all that. So you try to give commands to where it is that they're supposed to go. Unfortunately, it was not very descriptive, and you end up having to like reposition them twice. Like, no, not that building. What are you? And to get them where they are, you're not used to commanding, well, certainly
No.
civilians. You know what I mean? So, or
Yeah.
in general. So you're struggling to get this done. Eventually, they get where they're supposed to be, but it's at the same time that this car kind of like, and it comes to a stop, and Carmine's able to kind of get out and join the fray. Luckily enough, though, around the same time, those shields are empowering down,
Okay, shields are down.
which those are the front side. You guys are the back side anyways, but the shields are down. Everybody roll for me a perception check really quickly.
Perception.
A perception
Intelligence
check.
or wisdom?
Wisdom.
Jinx.
Carmine doesn't, probably because he just hopped out of the car and he's distracted looking at the ragtag bunch of people he's about to go see die in front of him.
Yeah.
But the other 2 of you are kind of like you hear something, and you kind of like look up and you see that it's that the copter is on its way in. The copter is in fact on its way in to where it needs to be right now, which is like
Wait, we've got a dropship coming in?
the one that you guys had shot up the flare
the
for.
one we called with the flare.
Oh, yeah, that's a bit early.
So
Aye.
so that
Oh,
one
it's
starts.
been like hours.
It's been a while, right? So it's finally
Yeah.
starting to make its way in, but it's still maybe a couple rounds out. So it's starting to make its way in. What are you guys
Can we
doing now?
communicate with them?
You can certainly
we don't.
tap into the frequency. Yeah.
Okay, it might be a good idea that when that thing comes close enough, to let them know, to if they have firepower or anything, push them forward
they
to
would.
this gas station. If we hit them hard from the ass, then
They aren't
can
gonna
pop up
help.
forward. I'm not gonna help.
No, they have no allegiance in this battle.
They
These are
don't.
their civilians,
Aren't
but
there,
they have no.
aren't there civilians being
connection
taken?
But this is
Yeah, but they don't
I mean,
but this is their enemy. This is the Great Beyond.
I was
Yes,
about to
yeah.
say, yeah,
Bring it
the,
before.
It actually
we're
is,
fighting their
that's-
enemy. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, sure.
Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
I mean, my back's not itchy, but
I mean, they're gonna get shot if they don't do anything anyway, so they might as well help, right?
Yeah, exactly. Cool.
okay.
Okay.
So
That's just an idea.
more or less, you want everybody to kind of like, with again, exception of a few people up ahead, to kind of like lure them closer. To you want more people to divert to the back and hit it from behind.
Yeah.
Okay, who's gonna hit onto the comms to talk to the ship?
It makes sense that I do it. Just let me drive out of the town first.
Okay, before you do that, Lena, roll me another intelligence perception check. And actually, now that you can roll me one to Rockwell because you're not in conversation with all those other people and everything.
What is this?
Intelligence perception?
Intelligence perception for you is literally always a 7.
It's the same roll. It's
Just so you
3
know,
plus 4.
2d6, 2d6 does average 7. That's a legit thing. Like mathematically, it should almost always hit 7.
Mad that then, isn't it?
He's saying you're average.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Mathematically average.
I think it's like I can't remember the percentage chance of doing everything. I used to know it forever ago for a different game I used to play. But anyways, so yeah, Rockwell and you guys. So you turn and leave to talk to the ship. You start giving command to those peoples, and Rockwell, speak to the ship, the dropship. Go ahead.
It'd be patched on as this is Service Chief Rockwell, trying to sound as professional. It's like when you're drunk and you're aware you're drunk and you're trying to sound sober.
Yep.
That's kind of going
Pretty
on.
this is third class because we're technically on the planet instead of, on the ship.
No, I'm Service Chief because I'm on an away team.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. It's confusing.
I know. Yeah. I only remember Service Chief. I don't remember the other one.
Yep.
Service Chief and Rockwell. My team, combined with your civilians, are currently attempting to take down a great beyond transport that has been kidnapping civilians. If you are so inclined to assist us in this battle, push them towards the tower block and your refueling station.
So more or less like, wait, you're saying you're fighting a tank? You're saying you're fighting a transport, hit it from behind?
Yes.
Pop
Damn
in
right.
your ass.
We don't got much on this thing. We have this is not one that we usually fly into. We got a turret on this, and that's all.
It doesn't matter.
Sorry,
if you
sorry.
hit, you just need to scare them.
Yeah.
A
Don't
gun on this, and
destroy
that's
it,
all.
You just
Make
need
sure-
to scare them.
Yeah, make sure you tell them just get their asses moving, don't destroy them.
You can be in this comm line. That's fair.
Okay.
But yeah, you just need to fire on them.
All right, so I'm gonna take a hard loop around and hit him from behind. What's your position? And more or less, like Lena can describe her tower.
I was gonna say they don't have comm lines, so he would be like, oh.
Yeah.
So
I'd say that them where they are.
And because I have it up, I would be, because you're in fighting, I'd be able to just take the time to describe the actual positions depending on the more or less.
He just
Clearly,
needs to
I'm not
know
that
where
good at
she is because he's driving them to her and where they are, so we can
fifth
loop around
floor.
behind them.
5th floor, large tower. You can't miss it. Get them to that gas station. Pronto.
All right, we'll see what we can do. And he starts taking that hard loop around and looping around as much as he can. Once again, the two of you guys roll me a intelligence perception check, and then
Just those two.
Still me.
just you two, not Carmine. He wasn't a part of the conversation. Oh wait, no, wait. Ollie, you're driving. Not you. Just
Yeah.
Ricky.
Well, I would have parked by now, but yeah, I'm not in visual sight of whatever's the fuck's going on.
What am I rolling?
Unless I
Sorry?
get my joint.
Intelligence perception.
We're missing something really obvious that's really important.
Oh, that's fine. Hey, you rolled not a 7. Kudos to you. All right, and then one
Could
of
have gone the other way.
And then you guys are kind of getting into your positions. This thing's making its hard loop around and whatnot. And as it's making its hard loop around, you can see that the tank itself, not the I keep saying tank. I don't mean to. The transport vehicle itself, on the top of the vehicle, a portion of it kind of like opens up a little bit, and up comes like a minigun, and starts aiming up and moving about. Could you roll for me a perception intelligence check, all of you people that can see it, so not Ollie.
At this point, would I be patched into my drone, or am I still sending?
You can see
Oh,
you're
what kind
patched
of-
into your drone, that's fine, but you still
What
would
kind of roll was that again?
perception
what again?
intelligence.
Okay, good. I might actually say. I might pass.
Might.
You're
Might.
guessing based off the movements of this thing and whatnot, it's very likely this is being controlled by a computer rather than by a person, this gun.
Okay.
So it's probably a VI that controls it versus a versus like an actual person, kind of just because of the smoothness and the calculated motions and whatnot. And you can see that it's starting to track in the air where it is that dropship is. So as that dropship's making its way around, and as this thing's kind of like locking in on it and everything, why don't we actually take our first break, and we'll come back shortly to see what it is that's going on and how it is we're going to resolve this funny situation. See you all shortly.